Okay, so this is a quick video to help you prepare for your 7.1 through 7.3 test. Remember that if this grade is higher than your 7.1 quiz, it can replace it. There are 4 questions that are trig identity questions. And I would say the level of those is very similar to the first 4 questions on the study guide that I passed out. So just doing something simple like number 1 on your study guide, cosine times tangent, knowing that you're supposed to put everything in terms of sine and cosine. So for instance, tangent is sine over cosine, knowing cotangent is cosine over sine, some of those basic identities. Knowing how to do the algebra part of it, like crossing out cosine, knowing that your final answer is sine. You're expected to do that. If you have something like number 3, where it's cosine times secant over cotangent, well, cosine times secant, those are reciprocal, so they're going to cancel. So I do think that will help, because you're going to just get 1, and 1 over cotangent is tangent. So really what you need to know for the first 4 questions are just your identities. So knowing that cosecant is 1 over sine. And if there's a squared here, then there's a squared there. Knowing that secant is 1 over cosine. Cotangent is cosine over sine. Tangent is sine over cosine. Then you have your Pythagorean triples. So sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1. Getting different forms of that. Like 1 minus sine squared is cosine squared, and 1 minus cosine squared is sine squared. Then you've got secant squared minus tangent squared equals 1. So doing stuff like 1 plus tangent squared equals secant squared. Also doing secant squared minus 1 equals tangent squared. You had some of those on your last quiz. And then you've got your cosecant squared minus cotangent squared equals 1. Same thing, you can do 1 plus cotangent squared equals cosecant squared. And cosecant squared minus 1 equals cotangent squared. Okay, so like I said, first 4 questions will be trig identities. A lot of these are either directly from the study guide, or they're very similar, or they are questions that you have had on the quiz, or you've seen like on one of the worksheets that we've done. There's only so many different kinds of problems that you can see. If you do have something like number 2 on the study guide, where it's sine squared, 1 plus cotangent squared, if you recognize that this is an identity, awesome. If you don't, it's not a big deal. You can distribute first. I would do that before I start writing everything in terms of sine and cosine. Then, once you get looking like this, then you can start to write things in terms of sine and cosine, and you'll see some stuff cancel here. Okay? But you don't have to worry about the negative properties. Like I said, the first 4 questions that's the same level of questions that you'll have on your test. Okay, so moving on to the newer stuff. 7.2, you will have some questions, we have a variety of questions that you can kind of pick whether you want to use 7.2 or if you want to use 7.3 formulas. So you are expected to know the formulas for 7.2, which if it's sine, I'm just going to put a plus or minus here. So with sine, the sign is the same, and it goes sine, cosine, cosine, sine. It always goes A, B, A, B. If it's plus, plus, minus, minus. Sine, cosine, cosine, sine. And then cosine, the signs are the opposite. So when I see a plus, I'm going to see a minus. When I see a minus, I'm going to see a plus. Cosine, cosine, sine, sine. So I do expect you to have those formulas memorized. In addition to your tangent formula, A plus Okay, so when it's, probably can't really condense that into one. I'll just have to just write one and do the other. Okay, so if you've got tangent A plus B, it is tangent A plus tangent B all over 1 minus tangent A times tangent B. And you already have all these formulas, but the other one, if this is a minus, and this is a plus, these are always opposite of each other. Okay? All right. So if you see a problem like we did on our worksheet, or on the review where you are expanding something, for example, number 15 on the worksheet, on the study guide, you have sine of u minus pi over 2. It says to simplify the following expression. So you have to realize that this is a sine subtraction formula, and so when it's sine, you sine, cosine, cosine, sine. Now, if the u's bother you, then write an x. Not a big deal, it's just a variable. Use your unit circle to figure out what the cosine of pi over 2 is, and it's 0, and 0 times sine is just 0. Sine of pi over 2 is 1, and cosine times 1 is just cosine. So that's all you're going to do for those. So you will definitely see a problem like this. It might be a cosine, it might be a sine, it might be a plus, it might be a minus. I don't know. But you do it all the same way. Okay, very similar. Just use your formula. With this stuff, you could also see something like number 16, where you have 2 expansion problems in one. Okay? So I'm going to expand this, then expand that. So these are both sine. So sine, cosine, cosine, sine. The more you write these, the more it's likely to stick in your head. Now watch out when you're subtracting. If you want to put a parenthesis here, that would be a great idea, so that you don't forget to distribute. Sine, cosine, cosine, sine. Okay? You should always have AB, AB. Okay, in this case, BX, BX. And I'm going to distribute that negative. And then you're going to see some like terms. You're going to notice that this and this cancel. This one's plus and one's negative. These are both positive. So I have cosine B sine X. And there are 2 of them. So you're done. You will definitely see a problem like this. It could be plus, it could be minus. These could be sines, they could be cosines. Okay, you also might see some condensing stuff relating to those formulas. So let's backtrack to number 13 on the review, where it says sine of 34 times cosine 56 plus cosine 34 sine of 56. So we're working backwards. This is my A, this is my B. Okay, so if this is sine, cosine, cosine, sine, which formula is that? That's your sine formula. You got your A and your B. If this is plus, then this is plus. 34 plus 56 is 90, and the sine of 90 is 1. Now on your study guide, this is where it stops. But I want you to stop here just like we did on the worksheet in our notes. Okay? So you might have condensing. You might also have to expand. Let's do one of those. I know most of you hate the tangent ones, so let's do a tangent one. Okay, so let's see if I can find one here on your review guide. So you've got number 10 is tangent to 55. And remember that anything that's in the 45 family is going to be a 1 or a negative 1. Okay? So with tangent, because this is positive, positive, tangent will always be positive here. And because tangent is negative, negative here, or the x and y are negative, negative, tangent will always be positive here. Tangent will be negative in both of these. because one's positive, one's negative. So your tangent of 45 is always going to be 1 or negative 1 when you're doing the 45, 45. If you are at 30 degrees, that's going to be your radical 3 over 3. So any of the ones that are closest to the x-axis. Remember, I said to try to stay away from those because they just can make things a little bit more complicated because they're a fraction. Your 60s are going to be a radical 3. Okay, so if it's here, it's going to be a negative radical 3. If it's here, it'll be a positive radical 3. So if you know those three things, you know everything that you need to know. And you can always derive them and calculate it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to try to find two numbers on the unit circle that add up to give me 255. And you can play around with that for a sec. And I'm going to use 135 and 120 because that's not a member, neither one of those are a member of the 30-degree family. And 30 degrees is where you have trouble. Okay? So if you look at 120 and 135, 120 is here, 135 is here. So I'm going to be dealing with negative radical 3 and negative 1. Okay? So let's span this. Tangent 120 plus tangent 135 over 1 minus. Okay, so I'm going to replace every single thing with those two values. So tangent of 120 is negative radical 3. Tangent 135 is negative 1. So I'm going to change this just to a minus 1 because plus and negative is the same thing. 1 minus negative radical 3 times negative 1. These two negatives will become a positive. So I'm just going to rewrite this as negative radical 3 minus 1 over 1 minus radical 3. Now how do you clean it up from there? We use the conjugate. 1 plus radical 3, 1 plus radical 3. You're going to FOIL twice. So take your first, outer, inner, last. Over your first, your outer and your inner will cancel. And so I'm going to skip to my last. Combine like terms. Negative 2 radical 3 minus 4. Or you can switch those around. It doesn't matter. All over negative 2. Divide each piece by negative 2. So we're going to get radical 3, positive radical 3, plus 2, or 2 plus radical 3, either way. I'm not picky. They're both right. All of your answers for your tangent problems should look like this. Just a matter of where the positives and the negatives are. You're going to end up having the same kind of things, you have the same kind of numbers over and over again. So avoid using that 30. Okay, so let's talk about 7-3. These are your double and half angle formulas. So what's good is some of the stuff that you did in 7-2 can be done with the formulas in 7-3. So, for example, if I'm doing the tangent of 15. Now I can do this problem the same way I just did, finding two things that add or subtract to give me 15. For example, 45 minus 30. Now that would be a mess because I'm using 30, and I'm sure there's a way I could do it not using the 30. So if you absolutely hate this whole process, then the stuff in 7-3 is much nicer because you have your tangent half angle formula. So I'm going to write that down. So it's 1 minus cosine over sine. Okay, I have to figure out, if I want to use a half angle formula, I have to figure out what this is half of. Okay, so it's half of 30. Half of 30 is 15, which makes this my x or my u or whatever